Hi, this is Nena Howell, and I want to share a tip with you today. So what I'm doing is I am prepping a number of my canvases today, and I've got a whole slew of them. But basically what we're going to do is these are ready-made canvases, and we're going to go ahead and prep these with an acrylic gesso on this canvas, preparing it for an oil painting. And normally you're going to do about 2 sets of layers of gesso to prep that. It's a personal taste, but this tooth here is rough, and so it has highs and lows. And so for me personally, I want this to be a little bit smoother when I'm painting with my acrylics, so that I don't have dead spots where the paint sinks into the canvas. An important key here I noticed when I'm doing this is a lot of times what you'll find is in the corners there'll be a droop in these ready-made canvases, just right here in the corners. So when you flood your layers over the canvas, it'll pulp. It won't touch this area because it's a low spot. So one of the things I like to do is I like to take just a regular water and give this a little bit of a spray and get right into those corners before I start. So when I go to ahead and do my gesso layers, this cotton that has got a little bit of water on it will dry, and instead of no sound, you'll hear like it'll be a drum sound when you tap on it. So then what we go ahead and do is how I do it is I use this gesso here, but I want to keep this pure, so I pour some gesso into this smaller bucket, and then I put a little bit of water to start, maybe 10-20% of water to start. And so that's a thin layer. The very first layer is a thin layer, and you go ahead and just drop some of that gesso on there. And then I take this painter trowel, and you just basically move this around, and a lot of times you get it to the edges and get it exactly where you want. But what's nice is to do kind of this circular movement so that you don't have like vertical lines. So that's how I do that. And then I'll take this outside, and let me just show you that. So I get this down, anything that's left over, I go ahead and drop to the next canvas, and I put that on there, and I continue on. And so what you end up having is you end up going, and you see there's all these canvases. So I've got, canvas, 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 canvas. And I'm just prepping all these canvases. That's what I do today. So that is the tip of the day. This is Nena Howell. I am a full-time artist.